are massive games across the state, more than 600 Texas high school football games scattered hither and yon across the state of Texas. I have gone through and done a deep dive into each and every one of them. And I figured out, using science and chemistry, figure out what are the top 10 Texas high school football games of the week. There are 10 of them in the top 10. That's why they're called the top 10. So let's start out with our top 10 Texas high school games of the week with number 10. Let's go way out west. El Paso Eastwood and El Paso Franklin. There's an argument to be made that this is right now the biggest game in El Paso of the season. And both of these teams have looked terrific. El Paso Eastwood enters at 5-1. Their quarterback, Kingston Jeffries, has been money. He's been really, really good for them. The district title for District 1-6A may be on the line here. And you've got Eastwood, which has looked great. A lot of good things happening for them. And then you have El Paso Franklin. And El Paso Franklin is, at this point, a runaway freight train offensively. They hung 84 last week on El Paso Montwood. Ernie Powers continues to be perhaps the best, well, at least the best 6A running back in the state. He's been spectacular. He's currently leading the state in rushing through his first 6 games. Ran for 327 yards and 7 touchdowns last week. He's got 34 rushing touchdowns so far this year. 34 rushing touchdowns. So I would expect some points in this game. I think the District 1-6A title is almost certainly on the line. I think this game is going to be a whale of just a lot of fun. If you have the means to get out to this game, if you're in the Sun City, get to El Paso Eastwood and El Paso Franklin. It will be a lot of fun. Here's a Greg Tepper promise. Oh. It will not end 3-0. That is a promise.
Yeah. I'm going to laugh my butt off if something goes terribly wrong. And
if it finishes, if a game involving Ernie Powers finishes 3-0, yeah. How about this? If El Paso Eastwood and El Paso Franklin finishes 3-0, this is my last episode of Texas Football Today. I will retire.
That seems cruel to us in week 7. Can you retire after the end of the season?
We'll talk about it. I told you I almost got fired yesterday.
That's fair.
Number 9, Rockwall Heath and North Forney. A huge game in District 10-6A, which may in fact be the toughest district in the state.
Dude, it's insane.
It's really, really crazy. Rockwall Heath's off to a great start. 4-1. Prosper Neal, their quarterback, I think has been a real star for them. Carter Zam, Z-A-H-M, has been just a real do-it-all threat for them. Rockwall Heath has been terrific. Well, last week against Tyler Legacy, they had 562 yards total offense. If you're talking about through 6 weeks, some of the most under-the-radar undefeated teams, North Forney might be on that list.
Mm-hmm.
North Forney, at 6-0, last week, demolished Tyler Legacy. Tyler High. No, Tyler Legacy. And Legend Bay, their quarterback,
is insane.
He's insane.
That offense can put up so many points. I mean, it's ridiculous. The lowest scoring game they had was against Forney, another really good team, at 35 points. Other than that, they've all been over 50 burgers.
Week in and week out, it's just an onslaught from North Forney. And I am really intrigued to see this huge district matchup with a lot of firepower and a lot of stakes in this one. North Forney and Rockwall Heath is my number 9 game of the week. Number 8, Newton and Woodville. So let's go down Southeast Texas way. And here's a matchup that I think could be for the District 12 3A Division II title. It's a state-ranked matchup. And both of these teams kind of have had a very similar season. They both dropped their week 1 matchup and then have rattled off 5 straight. And both of them, we had questions about what their offense was going to look like, and both of them have answered with authority with an emerging superstar. For Woodville, Luke Babin, their quarterback, has been insane this year. Absolutely spectacular. to start the year. 24 touchdowns, no interceptions. You can play with that. He can run it too. Luke Babin's a star. And I think that he was a bit of more of a game manager last year when Woodville made that surprising 1 state title game. He is the star of the show right now. Newton has got their own new star in Kendra Porter, who is remarkable. But they've also got another back there in Deldrick Samuel. This game, I think, is going to be really fun to watch. There's 2 things I'm keeping an eye on. One is history. This is their 71st meeting. Newton has won 25 of the last 26 meetings against Woodville, including last year when Woodville made it to a title game. 25 of the last 26. The other thing is, Newton is starting a freshman quarterback. Can Woodville's defense dial up the pressure on the freshman quarterback? A ton to learn in District 12-3A Division 2. Number 7, Ganado and Weimar. Another massive game down there, kind of southern part of the state. It's a big week down kind of near the coast. And, you know, if you remember about this Ganado team, a team that won a state championship obviously last year, but graduated super heavy. They are pretty much proven that they ain't going anywhere. Mm-hmm. And now have an opportunity to stake their claim as the team to beat in 15-2A Division 1. I love what Luke Burris has done, stepping up or Logan Burris, rather, Luke is his brother. Logan Burris has done stepping up as the key weapon in the running game. I think Landon Arriaga, their new quarterback, I think has really grown as the role. He's thrown 17 touchdowns, just 1 interception. And I'm very impressed with what he's been able to do. Going up against a Weimar squad that is 5-1 to start the year. 4-1, rather. 4-1 to start the year. Their one loss on the year was they lost to San Antonio Holy Cross, who's a pretty good San Antonio private school team. They will go as the defense goes there in Weimar. Can Ganado find a way through on the road, take on a tough Weimar team and take control of that district, 15-2A Division 1? Fascinating ball game, Ganado and Weimar. Number 6, Sulphur Springs and Salina. So there are only 2 matchups of UIL unbeatens this week. One of them we'll get to in a moment. But the other one is this one, Sulphur Springs and Salina. And this is a matchup of unbeaten. Salina has been mostly great. I think they've shown some flaws and shown that they have, if you have the kind of weaponry on the outside, they can be challenged defensively. And Sulphur Springs has got some dudes. Deuce Timmons has been great. Jackson Hare has been a star. But I think actually Sulphur Springs may be able to match up with Salina up front. My question is going to be, can they contain Bo Bentley, who has been really remarkable for them? I mean, seems like the OU commit, we knew he was going to be great. He feels like he's taken the next step. Salina and Sulphur Springs, this feels like, we've talked about Sulphur Springs the past couple of years. They've been good. They've been good. They feel like they're on the precipice of being great. This would be an opportunity on the road to prove that they are a legit statewide contender going up against the defending state champs. Massive game there, Sulphur Springs and Salina. It's my 6th ranked game this week. Number 5, let's go to the private school ranks. Plano Prestonwood and Argyle Liberty Christian. It's been a weird year for Plano Prestonwood. They started off 0-2. They lost Fort Worth All Saints in a close one, and they went on the road to Bastrop and got beat 70-55. But since then, they've kind of gotten their wheels back on, gotten into district play, and they've started playing kind of teams more in their weight class. And I think that they have figured things out, especially defensively. I think they've figured out that they want to be a team that runs the ball with William Taylor. They can throw the ball as well. They got a quarterback in Luke Glass, but I think they ultimately want to be a team that runs the ball. Argyle Liberty Christians had a weird year too. So this was a team that obviously won a state championship a year ago. High expectations with Coach Jason Witten and do-it-all athlete Cooper Witten. Well, they dropped a couple of games early in this year. They're 3-2. They started off 0-2 as well. Now they lost to Anna and they lost to Texas High. 2 pretty good teams, right? A 4A contender, a 5A contender. They've gotten their wheels back on as well. There's a lot of star power in this game, and one of these teams, it feels like they are going to fully get their wheels back on and fully be back in that contention in TAPS Division 1. Massive game here. Plano Prestonwood and Argyle Liberty Christian. Number 4, Lindsay and Munster. We're going to talk with the head coach of the Lindsay Knights coming up here in just a moment. Coach Casey Jones. It's the Kraut Bowl. It's the 58th installment of the Kraut Bowl. And for Lindsay, very quietly, I think 5-0. Their quarterback, Lane Foster, feels like he's really grown. I think their defense has been very sturdy, led by Zach Metzler. Going on the road to take on Munster, the defending state champs, who have the 2 losses on the year, although they are the 2 pretty good losses to 3A teams. Now, Lindsay does have 3 wins over 3A teams. Maybe not to the caliber of Pottsboro, maybe not to the caliber of Holiday, but good wins. Munster's got that guy in Case and Kearney. We're going to talk to Casey Jones about this. The other thing about this is historically, the last 10 years have been dominated by Munster. They've won 9 of the last 10. Case and Kearney's never lost to Lindsay. Fascinating ball game here with a ton on the line in District 8 2A Division 2. Good rivalry game. It's a friendly rivalry. 2 communities that know each other really well. A lot of kin between the 2 cities. Big game, Lindsay and Munster, the Kraut Bowl. Number 3, Alamo Heights and Victoria West. I'm fired up about this game.
Yeah, this one's awesome.
District 13, 5A Division 2. Enormous game here. For Victoria West, an opportunity to really announce to the state that we are here and we are a force to be reckoned with in 5A Division 2 Region 4. Against an Alamo Heights team that it feels like really has reloaded on the fly. They've decided to just build the whole plane out of DK Garza. Good move. Nolan Boyce has been great for Victoria West. Genesis Jeffries, their running back, has been very good. 2 of the top 10 scoring offenses in 5A Division 2 going at it. This will be ultimately a matchup of defenses. Which defense can get a stop? The defensive statistics don't blow you away with either of these teams, so I expect this will be a relatively high-scoring game. It's a bit of a drive there for Alamo Heights, too. So, huge game here. We will have the winning coach on Texas Football Tonight tomorrow night. Fascinating game for District 13 5A Division 2, at least the pole position. Still a lot of football to play over the last 4 weeks of the season. But a massive game here, Alamo Heights and Victoria West. Number 2, DeSoto and Duncanville. What?
They're doing that thing again where they play?
First matchup of DeSoto and Duncanville where neither team is undefeated since 2015. And it does feel like, even though that these 2 teams have more losses between them, combined 3 losses between them entering this game, this does feel like a game with more stakes than we've had in quite some time. Here's what I mean. DeSoto got off to a pretty disastrous start to the season. 0-2. Pretty well documented around these parts. Since then, feels like they've steadied the ship. Feels like Claude Mathis and company have gotten their wheels back on. They've figured things out. They're coming off of a really nice win over Weatherford. If you win this game, I think you can reinstall all of those. I think you basically forget about those first 2 weeks. And you can reinstall all those preseason expectations you had on DeSoto. For Duncanville, if you go out there and you win this game, obviously they have that loss to, they're only 2-1 here in week 7, but they have that loss to Waxahachie. If you win this game, you have essentially, because DeSoto did you a favor and beat Waxahachie, you have essentially made it a moot point that you lost to Waxahachie. You are able to get your wheels back on and get everything's right back in front of you because you're going to have that tiebreaker that probably will go in their favor, and you'll still be the number 1 seed. But for both of these teams, I also think there is a big downside risk. If DeSoto drops this game, suddenly all that upward mobility, suddenly all that momentum, whatever you want to call it, all those good vibes feel like they dissipate a little bit. And you start wondering, okay, well, who are we? For Duncanville, A, the good vibes go away, and B, you are almost certainly going to be the number 2 seed out of Division I, and your playoff path gets worse. A ton of stakes, DeSoto and Duncanville. We didn't even mention like the playmakers here. But it is a really, really big game, DeSoto and Duncanville, for reasons that are different than we're usually talking about. But surprisingly, it's not the number one game in the state this week. Number one, Sheldon C.E. King and Humble Summer Creek. And this is, in District 23-6A, like go time here. And what's so funny is that in this district, 23-6A, it's been all about Atascocita North Shore, Atascocita North Shore, Atascocita North Shore. And I recognize I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth because we talk about like the narrative about the district, and certainly at Dave Campbell's, we are in some part responsible for shaping the narrative. But a lot of the conversation around District 23-6A for the last, let's call it 6 years, has surrounded the other two contenders in this district. Well, here's an opportunity for both these teams to take center stage. Summer Creek undefeated, coming off of a great win, a really gutty win over Atascocita last week. And Braylon Causey's touchdown run got them the victory. Noah Spinks has been terrific, threw for 500 yards last week. Going up against C.E. King, who's already got that win over Atascocita. And I think feels like, we've talked about this about them, they have reason to believe, they're like, hey, what about us? What about us? Their running back, Deion Sims, outrageous. This might be, C.E. King might be the fastest team in the state. They are so fast. Can Summer Creek contain it? And the winner of this game is undoubtedly, I mean, North Shore seems like they've figured things out. They will be a threat, but undoubtedly feels like they are the team to beat in District 23-6A. Massive game in District 23-6A. Sheldon C.E. King and Humble Summer Creek, my number one game in the state this week. So there it is, my top 10 games of the week.